Jump into the mothership. Jump into the mothership. Jump into the mothership.
Welcome back to the Mothership podcast, and today I'm your captain. And I'm joined by some guests today. We have the return of Lady Space Ninja.
Hello, hello.
Captain Mooney. And Khadija.
I didn't give.
As I was saying, they already had them. I was going to ask you, would you like to pick a space name?
Space name.
Yeah.
Space name. I don't know what to pick.
That's what I mean. It's tough, right?
Because what is it? Captain
Mooney.
Lady
Yeah,
Space
so
Ninja.
yeah, she just already had Mooney in her name, so it worked out.
Captain Mooney.
Captain
makes
Mooney,
sense,
Lady Space
yes.
Ninja, because, you know, Dylan.
Commander Khadija.
Oh,
I like that.
I like
But we've
that.
already got Bruno the commander.
Doesn't matter because that's
There's
Bruno.
two commanders.
There's Melanie.
Bruno's behind the camera like,
Commanders, you know, we want to have a fair work environment here. Commanders need days off, so when Bruno's not working,
Yes.
Khadija's
Yes.
the
Of
commander.
course,
Yes.
and that's what's happening here because Bruno's not here right now.
Exactly.
Right.
You know,
Thank you.
Bruno's not on set, so
right.
it's just Commander Day. So yeah, today we thought we would offer up some pro advice to those with some relationship issues, which is one of my favorite things to do. So Space Ninja himself hooked me up with some questions that you guys asked to have answers, and he couldn't be bothered to be here himself, so we're gonna go. So we'll start.
Called out.
We'll start with one that's kind of short, easy, but also kind of tough. How the fuck do I make my friend understand that her boyfriend is a toxic piece of shit?
girl, you're not gonna be able to do
It's
it.
like-
It's
yeah.
like every single time you have a. Sorry, you need to. I'm sorry. I was
that was
triggered.
it.
I was
That
triggered.
was it. That
So
was
many
the one.
thoughts right
No,
after
you can
that.
go right in.
I was like,
Because that's
you
it.
won't be able to do it. You would
It's-
never.
It's like an abusive relationship. You kind of just have to decide: are you willing to stay around until it blows up, so you can be the support to help them after it's done? Because like if you try to convince them in the moment, it's just like they're not
my
gonna see it. It's like they're wearing the rose tinted glasses, so the red
Exactly.
flags are not red.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can try to have like an honest conversation where you're just kind of like, I've just noticed some concerning behavior and I want to make sure you're okay.
Yes.
So that you're not coming at it as an attack. You're just letting them know something you've noticed.
Exactly.
And then maybe they'll kind of start internalizing that and seeing, oh, maybe
because if
you're
you
right.
frame it as saying your partner's, you know,
Sucks.
a shit,
He sucks.
then that feels,
Which
it
is what
also
I did.
feels like, it feels like an attack on them because it's
Yes,
like,
you
oh,
made-
you're saying I have bad taste,
Yeah,
therefore
yeah.
you're saying,
Yes. Yes, you can't reason. You can't reason
I'm
with
sorry.
them.
I'm
Yeah.
so.
no, but yes, you're right, but
You're right.
having been in both positions, I can say that it feels a bit like, oh, am I a bad person because I'm
Yeah.
attracted to a bad person?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it can feel
Yeah.
like an attack. Yeah, so you
So-
have to almost approach it as concern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to approach it like, I'm your friend. I love you. I support you.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
I
for
just want you to have the best.
Yeah, I just want to make
Yeah.
sure, like, you're, you know, I'm just going to
Yeah,
point
but
out some things
ultimately,
I
it's
know,
like,
so
how
not gonna
many-
work. I'm like, you can at least put it out there, and then they come to you like, bestie, thank you. You were so right.
Not the best.
So true. Imagine if she went, so true, bestie. I'm going to dump it right now.
But at the same time, the question then becomes like, how often can you say that to somebody before it's like,
But that's
girl,
okay.
get your
Here's
act
the thing.
together.
I will give you advice a few times.
Yes.
If you keep coming to me, like I've had friends where I've had to be like, I'm putting a boundary. You are not allowed to talk to me about this person.
Yes.
Because you just want to talk about the negative. Like you just want to complain to me. And it's also not fair to that person because
Yeah.
I don't know them. I don't know what it's like when the two of you are together. They
Right.
could be great most of the time and you're just giving me some of the bad
Yep.
stuff that kind of annoys you.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now
Yeah.
all I get is a bad picture of that
You just
person.
get the vibe.
So if you don't want your friend to hate them, one, don't only tell your friends the shitty things. Two, if your friend is never going to realize it, they're going to realize it on their own.
Yeah.
One day they'll just show up and be like, we broke up.
I've been there.
Listen, we've all been that friend, and we've all been the friend that's like, bitch, please, he sucks.
Yeah.
I almost cursed a friend's boyfriend out in front of her because I was like,
You didn't reason with
I was like, do you want me to fight you? Like, what are you doing?
But that's why I think it's so important when you're dating someone to test them out with your friends before you get too serious
Oh,
because
that's fair.
you, as you said, you hear
yeah.
about things, but you don't know until you meet them. And if you meet them and then you see all the red flags, then it's like, okay, well, you've seen it.
The issue
rough,
with that
though.
though, what if you got long distance?
I was gonna
friends?
say long distance
yeah.
relationships,
All you hear is just
and then
like,
you can just end up
Yeah.
into like weird situations.
Yeah.
Like I've had situations where like I've gotten into an argument with someone that I was seeing, but like a best friend happened to be around when it was like going down.
Oh,
So then they
true.
get painted with the argument, and they want to defend you,
Yeah.
and you're just like, no, it's just an argument. Like we worked through it, but then they have that negativity.
yeah.
There's so many.
You just
layers.
get those
There's
snippets.
so
and
many
you're
layers.
Like, I'm concerned, actually.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
say as well though, on the like introducing your friends earlier, I found as I've gotten older, and I'm only 30, but like I found that I will tell my friends about the people that I'm dating,
Yeah.
but I'm way less about them meeting them because I now trust my taste.
Fair.
So
Interesting.
if
Yeah,
someone's a
that's
bit
fair, I get
sketchy,
that.
or if I keep going back to someone, I'm like, okay, it's my mistake to make.
Yeah.
Like I
Okay.
take my accountability, and then my friends kind of just, I don't know how to explain it. Like I feel
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
I get it.
I feel like after a while that can happen. Once as well, when you've been friends with people for a long time, you kind of just, I'm gonna trust your judgment. If you say, even if my friend tells me something shitty about their partner, like I'm still gonna be okay with their partner because I'm like, I trust your judgment,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it seems
To
like
work
you
it
have good
out.
taste.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, they might have done this shitty thing to you or annoying, but if like this person is saying that person is toxic, girl, also how old are y'all? Because
That's
I
the
hate to
thing.
say that, but it's
Yeah,
also part of it.
it is definitely
like I
part
dealt
of
with
it.
that stuff in my 20s more than anything,
Yeah.
and now
You gotta
it's
learn.
rare for me to have a friend that has a shitty boyfriend because most of my
Yeah.
friends are queer, and if they aren't queer, their boyfriends have been around for a while.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like,
I'd also
That's
like to say
fair.
on the flip side, I know that's not part of the question,
No, it's
but this
fine.
has just reminded me, if you are in that situation and you are dating someone and you are scared to tell your friends things
That's
about
it.
them,
Ooh.
that
That's
is your red
Yeah,
flag.
that is your
That
red
part.
flag.
That
That's
part.
your-
Because
that is your red
If you're
flag.
disclaiming things before
Yes,
starting
yes.
the story,
Yeah,
they're
like preemptively.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
listen, so before I start, okay, like he took me on this really great, it was really great, but
This is
then
great.
he was like an hour and a half late, but like, you know,
But then, like,
he,
after
like,
he
He's
bought
just
me-
kind of like that, you know.
you
he's
know,
not
he
that
has
person.
ADHD,
And then, like, after
his
it all
cat
went
died
down-
3 years ago,
Yeah,
and like,
literally.
And like
yeah.
after it all went down, he bought me something. So it's like the you
oh,
know whatever's
God,
coming in
not
between.
a capitalism band-aid.
Yeah, literally. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, no,
because
that's
super
true.
important.
I have
For
been
sure.
in that
Yeah,
situation
For sure.
rather
Haven't we all?
recently.
Ooh.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I look back and I'm like, yeah, I didn't tell you this because I knew you'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
And that's
and you
the
didn't
thing.
want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's a struggle.
I was self-aware about it, I guess,
Yeah,
at least.
It's like
I
being
don't know if that
honest
makes
with
it any
yourself.
better.
I told a friend that I was seeing somebody
Ugh.
again that like they're not toxic or anything like that. They're just like not the best at communicating.
Oh no.
But I was just like, I can't quit him. Leave me alone.
Fair.
All right. So
Yeah,
next
next
up,
one.
we're gonna have a bit of a long one, but
Uh-oh.
so it's not even a specific relationship thing. It's just it's gonna sound lame, but when I start feeling attracted to someone, I'll be so awkward and I don't know how to start a normal conversation. I don't know if it's because I'm in my
Touching me, that was so shady. Tara went, Khadija.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because in my head I feel like I'm way out of their league, or
Oh,
because
no,
I'm imagining an
no.
awesome conversation that could never happen. But yeah, haha, I know this is probably lame, but how do I start talking to someone I have feelings for, and how to know if the other person is interested in me? I hope you have a nice day. Love your podcast.
Do you think they meant
I
the
might-
opposite?
I wanna-
Yeah.
I think they must have
would
meant
hope
the
so.
opposite, right?
I was like, you seem to have a lot of confidence.
Yeah, in my head I feel
Wait,
like I'm
first
way
of
out of
all-
the league, or maybe because I'm
First of
imagining-
all, not a lame question.
yeah, it's not a lame
Totally
question.
normal
No,
question
no.
to ask.
And like on yeah,
No,
it's
It's the haha anyways.
I've been there. But because in my head, how do I start talking to someone I have feelings for, and how to know if the other person is interested in me?
Girl, y'all be
feel
winning
like-
shamans.
I feel like we need the context of like how old we are. You know, because if we're in
yeah.
high school, like everyone's awkward in high school. Let's
Even
be
in
real.
your
But if we're
20s,
like
As a-
30s,
I was like-
20s, people are still awkward. I'm still awkward, and I've just learned. Some you can learn to make awkward work as charm.
You make it charming?
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
I make awkward charming. I
Eating
like
out of
that
the
thing.
palm of their hand. That's what you do. Because people turn around, they're like, so charming. And you're like,
Charming.
I'm just
honestly,
quirky.
that's yeah. Like genuinely, that's some of the
being my
fun in
lead.
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's some of the fun in it, flirting when it's a little bit like you're both nervous.
exactly.
Now, the question is, how do you know if they like you back? That's a tricky
That can be
one.
rough. And sometimes
Yeah.
it does just get down to you're talking and you're good and you're like, hey, like you want to like go to coffee. You want to go
You're
grab
not
some
gonna know
coffee.
until you try,
and then they
yeah.
might say yeah, or they might say like as friends, like, it's like one of those things. So you do kind of have to take chances. Like rejection's bound to happen. You're bound to get some no's. And like, honestly, you might even get a yes that you end up being like, oh, I'm not that into them.
Yeah.
And, and like, that's going to happen too. And it just gets better the more you do it. Sometimes people, there is a very big like expectations versus reality thing with a lot of relationships. And like, I actually feel like the 500 Days of Summer montage of that really nails it.
I saw that for the first time last week.
Oh, wow.
I had never seen
Have you
them.
seen
Oh,
it?
crazy.
yes.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people tell me
of
I should
course.
watch it,
Yeah,
but I'd
yeah.
never seen it. And then, interestingly enough, the person I was watching it with was a guy who was like, but she's telling him she doesn't want a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it was like from the first 5 minutes, he just got the film. And I was
Yeah.
like,
It's
you can
But
stay.
that's watching it as an adult.
Yeah. 'Cause that's what
Yes.
Still, though, it's
Yeah.
concerning how many people don't get the message of the
Yeah,
film.
and they're like,
on
oh,
his
because
side.
Summer's the bitch and Tom's like the hero. But
And
it's
you're
like,
like, wait
no,
a second.
I mean,
Tom-
she is selfish.
She is selfish, but she was honest about
Yeah.
what she was looking for and what was going on in it. But yeah, it really is that montage of like you go into situations, you're imagining everything's going to be this perfect thing. And I get it. You want to get excited about things. You want to imagine opportunities and stuff. But like sometimes you can work something up in your head so much that
Yeah.
anything that happens is going to be disappointing.
Don't get carried away with your daydreaming. It's normal to daydream about your crush, but like, just dial it back a bit,
and like,
you know?
and really think that they are also a person just like you that has they have a lot of the same insecurities, and they are a person. So don't like project your own image of them onto them. Just like give them the chance to be themselves, and that'll also probably just make it easier to talk to them.
Yeah.
And I think too that like having the respect, if you are the person on the other end of that, like having the respect to communicate if you're into it or not with the person coming up to you.
Yeah.
Like just out of like common courtesy, out of respect, just be like, hey, I appreciate it, but like no.
Yeah.
But that's also hard to do.
It can be hard
So
with a cold.
hard.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because so many people don't handle rejection very well.
Well, this is exactly it. I mean, I hate rejecting people, and that sounds like I get to do it a lot. Like I hate rejecting people, but like
Okay,
Tom.
I know, I was like, ooh.
No, but what I mean is
Came
that
to
like,
Canada and started feeling her fantasy. All right.
but just may I go on a little diversion and tell a story?
Yes.
Okay, let me tell a story. So set the scene. I'm on the tube. Fun fact, speaking of dating, I share my dog with my ex.
What?
Yes.
I did not know that. this
We
whole time.
Tara,
Not with your fingertips were touching each other like a doctor.
concerned mom over here.
Tara.
No. We're on very good terms. We're friends.
Okay.
We were together for a
that.
long time, but we
Fair.
just ended as friends. They've got a new partner who's wonderful. You know. So
I love that.
yeah.
I'm friends with my ex. I visited them
Exactly.
in New York, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
working on that.
I let that
Are
go.
you?
I know. I want to. Now I don't know how to reapproach.
The way you said
It's
it,
the
you're like,
reap-
yeah, I'm working on it.
I don't know how to do the reapproach and be like, hey.
Yeah. So I'm on the tube. I'm dropping Siggy off to her other parents' house. So I'm on the tube. I've got Siggy on my lap. These three men come onto the tube, and it's the middle of the day. It's like 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and they come on and they start talking to me about the dog. And everyone comes up to me and talks to me about the dog because the dog is cute, right? She's very cute.
Yeah.
So I thought nothing of it. But then the guy goes, so what does your boyfriend think of the dog?
Every time. I had an Uber driver ask me something like that.
Literally, but you know what I did? I said, stupid. I went, I don't have a boyfriend. And it was like, I may as well have just said, come take me now.
Come take me now. We'll get a kennel.
No, you're right. I think I know what you're about to say.
you
Like,
know
I shouldn't
where-
have to say, but I should have said, like, listen, I'm 4 years married, on the way, you know, like I should have. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I just went, I don't have a boyfriend. And then he was like, oh, well, can I have your number? And I just went, which wasn't a lie. I went, I'm into women, which is true. I just admitted the fact that I'm also into men, just not that man. But anyway, I was like, I like women. And he went, oh, are you sure you just haven't met the right man?
See, that's the type of shit you hear on the internet. And when you experience it in real life, you go, wait.
It's real.
It's real.
This
It
happened.
is real. They
Yeah.
either say it blatantly
Khadija
or they
died.
think it silently and try.
Oh, we're
So
getting
mad
there.
right now.
He was clearly projecting a lot of things because then every like 2 minutes he'd be like, "I think you're very attractive. Are you sure? Let me have your number.
No!
Let me take you out." No, but it gets worse. It gets worse. He was like, "So, when was the last time you were with a man?"
Sorry.
And I was like,
I'm so contained right now. I'm screaming into this microphone.
And I
I'm
went-
so sorry.
Lots of compression.
yeah,
Gotta
literally.
go on.
And then I can't remember what I said, but then he was like, "When was the last time you were with a woman?" And I was just like,
Mind your fucking business.
Also, this is in broad daylight on the tube.
Of course.
This
Of
is
course
like
it is. The
1 o'clock,
audacity.
literally.
Men.
Yeah, literally. And he was just like, "Are you sure you just haven't tried the right man?" I was like, "Listen, I'm sure. I'm 20. This is before my birthday. I was like, I'm 26. Like, I know." You know, blah blah blah, and I also looked so gay that day. Like I was wearing my green.
They don't
It
care.
doesn't
Those are the
matter.
boldest. The ones that
Yeah.
come at the ones that look the gayest are the boldest and the dumbest.
Yeah, literally. And the way he was like, "I think you're very attractive," and I was like, "I literally have a mask on. Like, how do you know?" He was like, "You're hot," and I'm like, "How do you even know that?" Like, come
He's
on.
hoping.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
praying.
yes, you
You know
happen
what
to be
I've
right.
realized?
but-
A lot of this is, it's honestly, either way, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Because, like,
It just has to work the one time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had a dude, literally, he kept asking me. I was walking down Mont Royal. He's like, "Oh, wait, can you stop for a minute?" And I was like, "No, I'm going." He was like, "No, wait, I just want to talk to you." I was like, "You can walk and talk." I literally was, and he chased me down after a few seconds, but he kept wasting his time. I was
Yeah, I
like,
was
"Your
like,
time is going. I'm still walking. You can say what you need to say. Why do I have to
Literally.
stop?" And then I just kept going. I was like, "I'll see you next time."
But the thing with this,
my girl.
the thing with this incident that wound me up was that people on the tube looked visibly uncomfortable. But
Yes,
you
they
know what
do.
You know what I think though? If everyone on the tube just bandied together and said, "You're being weird, get off,"
Yeah,
then
that's all
he
it would have
wouldn't.
taken.
But like, it was just one of me and 3 of these guys, and I think that you were talking about rejection. You don't know how people are going to. That's why the story popped up in my head.
Yeah.
I had my little sweet doggy on my lap. You know, there were 3 of them, 1 of me, and I just didn't want to take the risk.
Yeah, it's
of
the
them
cold
getting
approach. You
violent.
don't know what they're going to do. When it's someone you've been talking to, you can get away. You not get away.
Yeah.
You know what you can say.
They could have followed me off the tube.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
know what to expect.
Exactly, and that was
you
in
have to
broad
entertain
daylight.
it.
So
Yeah.
God
I
forbid.
Okay, I think we've gathered that I'm rude. But I'm only rude when I feel like I have to be.
No, that's right.
Because
love
for the
that.
most part, like, I'm pretty, like, I will smile at strangers and stuff. And like when I was in New York, they don't give a fuck. They will stop you no
Yeah.
matter what. People will stop you every which way. I couldn't walk down the street without getting stopped. And I'm not saying that like, I'm so hot. Like, I'm hot, yes.
No, but people are nosy.
Like,
and
people just
annoying.
won't stop you.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
people, it's a numbers game. It's all of that.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, though, is, yeah, you never know who's going to reject you. But honestly, when I was in junior high and stuff, and like, I was not the object of any affection. I was not, I didn't date anyone. Nobody thought I was cute. Like, I was like, I'm not going to get anybody because of my looks. Personality is all I got.
Same.
Like,
Yeah,
I would still just be like, if I was friends with someone for a while and I had a crush on them, I'd just be like, hey, I have a crush on you and you don't have to like me back. Like, the expectations reality thing, it's what I've learned in dating is putting yourself out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like my whole like first 15, 16, 17 years of my life, I was told I was ugly and like bullied mercilessly for my looks. So now it's like a flip side where people will stop me and be like, "You're so pretty." And I'm like, I don't know how to respond because
No,
I'm like,
yeah,
that's
that's fair.
not what I'm used to.
Right.
But either way, I've just been like, okay, Michaela Cole's mentor said this. This is all play.
Yes.
This is all play. So it's something kind of like how you were saying, don't take yourself so seriously. Like, you can get rejected and it's not the end of the world,
Yeah.
or even not really rejected. Like, I had a guy the other day, we were like hanging out and he was like, I don't know if I feel like the sexual component compatibility. And I was like, okay, cute. I could see that he was trying to like be honest
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I was like, you didn't need to tell me that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I also was just like, but am I hot? And he was like, yes, obviously. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay.
Anyway, now that
thank
I've
you.
checked my ego, what about it is uncomfortable for you? And we had a conversation and it was
Yeah.
cool. But like, after the fact, I just had to acknowledge, yeah, it was my ego that was slightly upset. But other than that, I don't like, it's a
Yeah.
numbers thing. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
gonna be people that don't like you, that do. no matter how old or young you are, you just have to honestly keep putting yourself out there because it's practice too.
It's practice. And then also just knowing when to take the no.
Yeah, that
and
too.
read people being uncomfortable.
My favorite thing is when a guy compliments me and then, the numbers thing as well. They ask for my number and I'm like, I don't give my phone number out. I would have a boyfriend and would purposely say, I don't have a boyfriend. He could be sitting right next to me. Yeah. I'd be like, I don't know this man.
Because your agency matters more.
I was like, why would you respect a man that's not even here over me telling you that I don't have a number?
Yeah,
like,
that's
think
exactly
about it like that. And a lot of guys would stop and be like, I never thought about it like that. I'm like, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So, no. But also, I just tell people, I don't give my phone number out. And eventually they leave you alone. A lot of times. Like, I've been in situations where I'm walking at night and, like, guys will say stuff and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I don't. Tee-hee, have a wonderful night. Yeah. Keys in my fingers, like,
yeah,
like, if you want to. I'm not saying that it's easy to reject someone as well, especially if you're a femme, like if you're a woman. It's not easy. It's like, it's scary.
Yeah.
But I think when you're in public settings, someone, even if people don't say something immediately, if they tried something with you, I feel like, I don't know England actually well enough to say that somebody would say something. Maybe they wouldn't.
I think in London, unfortunately, not. Like, I don't know, people just
don't
want any social interaction.
But I find it's like that in the metro, subway, tube, like anything. People just head down, don't want to pay attention to anything that's going on. Like, there'll be people playing musical instruments or breakdancing in the metro, and you'll be like, as long as they don't look at me, like, I'm good.
Don't perceive me.
Yeah. So I feel like even if something's going down, people are very likely to just look away. Unfortunately, it's really, really sad, but
because you don't, because especially if you're a girl and you want to say something, you also don't want to get yourself as like you don't want the attention redirected.
I remember I was on the bus at one point and there was a guy who was just straight up not wearing a mask and like yelling in people's faces, and I was like, I'm gonna yell at him to put his mask on. But then in my head I was like, but he can kill me. I'm good actually.
Because that can be really bad for that. I get like real fired up about things and I'll be like,
because
like,
think about it, if somebody
messing with some seals down, I was like,
but think about it, if somebody's unhinged enough to do that,
yeah,
I don't know, maybe they're unhinged enough to punch me in the face.
You gotta know your battles, but also sometimes
battles.
What is that thing? It's like, dudes say this, which is so weird. It's like every man needs to get punched in the face once. Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily true, but I also think that like once you get hit, you're not as scared of getting hit. I'm not saying that this is bro. Yeah. This is turning weird. I just mean, you shouldn't have to say all the things, the qualifiers. I'm a lesbian. I have a boyfriend. I'm married.
You shouldn't have to say anything except no.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the more that we also practice that.
Yeah, just like, no, thank you.
And just like, I don't give my phone number out. Why not? I just don't. I don't know you. I don't give my phone number out. That's the thing that I had to force myself to start saying it and being comfortable with saying it. And it's taken me like 3 years so that now when I say it, or if someone's chasing me down the street, I'm just like, you could walk or you could miss me. Like, and I would never have done that 3 years ago. Like, not even a little bit. Because it's like, oh, nobody would like me. I need to say yes to every guy, blah, blah. And it's like, fuck that.
It's also, it's the idea of preserving their feelings, too. You're like, I don't want them to be hurt or
I'm
upset.
Like, you're making me uncomfortable and I'm worried about your feelings.
Exactly.
I hate that.
God, don't you hate the patriarchy?
What's the next one?
All right, let's bump on. So,
nice way to end it. Don't you hate the patriarchy?
So me and this girl I met online have been talking for about 2 months. And we both really like each other, but we've never met. We both go to school in different states and our schedules are always clashing. My question is it weird or a bad idea to get in a relationship with someone you never met?
Ooh. I mean,
have you had experience?
You've got your thoughts.
Well, no, yeah, my ex-girlfriend and I were long distance, so we didn't meet for like the first. We started talking for like the first 6 months of us dating, because it was COVID,
COVID times,
so we couldn't meet. She lived in Arizona, so.
So how did you establish that you were in a relationship, like online?
Fucking
like,
lesbians U-hauling, listen. Basically, it was 2 days. I'm kidding.
Basically.
It was like, at first, it was like, chill.
Yeah, and then like I had already preemptively cleaned out a drawer for her.
And then all of a sudden, we were living together. I'm kidding. No, she was chatting with me for a couple months. We were just chatting kind of casually online. And then we ended up having like an online date. Probably like 3 months into that, and then like just really liked each other and we're like, let's do it. And then thankfully that was when YouTube was starting to be okay. So I was like, okay, maybe, and I'm American, so I'm like, I can fly to the States. Like she can't come see me, but I can go there. So I did that, and like it was a great relationship. It didn't work out, but that's just like my own stuff. Like so.
I have a
I get
counter
it. I
question
feel
though. Okay, so I know it's not the same as like 6 months or whatever, but I've had this where like I've spoken to someone for a couple of weeks over text and we haven't been able to meet up because of scheduling.
Right.
And then when we meet,
There's
the
nothing.
banter's just not there.
Yeah.
So what about
So-
that? How do you? Obviously, that wasn't the case because you.
Well, we FaceTimed a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah,
and
that
did a lot
does
of
help.
conversations.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
so I knew going there. At first, it was still weird though. Like, it wasn't an easy thing when I first went. Like, it was
Right.
difficult. It was it was uncomfortable, and it was like, I don't know. But I'm also like, this is life. It's just play. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
to Phoenix and visit this girl. Yay! Like,
I get it.
It's fucking
I get
weird.
it. Yeah, I get
But
it.
no, yeah, I get it. It's so true. Oh, that's why I was like, are they queer?
Yeah, I think so. I just
God.
by zooming in the picture, I could be completely wrong. I'm very sorry if I'm wrong, but
The minute
yeah.
she said 2 different states and blah blah, I was like, oh, the sapphics.
Yeah, I thought
It's
so.
the
Sapphics.
sapphics. It's
Because
the
you know,
sapphics.
the minute I saw my ex's profile, it was like Scorpio. I was like, gonna ruin my life. And then it was where she was living, and I was like, of course you don't live in this Montreal. Why would you live in Montreal?
Yeah, that one's. I think you can have a genuine relationship. Like it doesn't. It's not invalid in any way. I just do think that, like at some point, like as you're getting more serious, you should, if you can, if like they're saying different schools, but like how far away are those schools?
Yeah.
Like is it like same state, but you're still like 30, 40 minutes away, maybe an
True.
hour, and it's just literally like your class schedule is making it so that you can't meet up? That's not too bad, and you're in the same area, because like people make long distance relationships
Yeah.
work. So I don't think it makes it an invalid relationship, especially if you're able to do things like FaceTime and set aside times for like digital dates where you like watch a movie together or something, or just like have dinner together, if you can't actually like physically get there. So yeah, just also know, like, you know, when you know, have your plans in order, and make sure that it's not because somebody's avoiding wanting to
Yeah.
meet you. So it's like
Yes.
make sure it's not a catfish situation.
Oh my
like,
God, listen to Sweet Bobby.
Yeah.
That
So-
podcast was a journey.
Follow up question on that.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a hot take question. Do y'all think that long distance relationships, in that kind of respect, where it's like things are a bit difficult to schedule around for a while, do you think that that's sustainable if there's no end goal in mind?
That's
no,
what
I get
yeah.
the end goal
Yeah.
thing.
You have to
is-
have
you
an
have
end
to have
date.
an end goal. There has to be some kind of like
Where you eventually
plan,
come
some-
together.
eventually the come
Yeah.
together thing, and if you don't, it can
Yeah.
be
Because I've also been in a long distance relationship, and it was tough.
It's
it was
tough.
real hard.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like two younger people, where it's like
Especially
not
if you're
the
like
easiest.
monogamous too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking-
Because touch starvation is real.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Especially after 2 years of COVID, like
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
willingly entering into a long distance relationship, it's kind of like, yee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
You know.
not knowing if it's like,
If
is
it's
this
gonna
something
work.
that we could
Yeah.
maybe close the gap on, close the distance?
Yeah.
Especially if you're younger
That's
too, and it's
rough.
like you don't drive, you don't really have access to like
Yep.
easily disposable income.
Yep.
Yeah, it's rough. I think it works for some people, because I feel like some people just do better when there's more separation in relationships. Like they don't
Yes.
necessarily need or want to be around someone all the time.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like there does have to be some kind of like, I don't know, mutual ability to meet up
Yeah.
and mutual this. It is really hard. So like if it is like a really long distance thing, like maybe stop and think, like, is it even worth trying to put in the effort? Like, what are we planning to do once like graduation happens or all those different things? But you know, like as long as you're both having like a good time right now and like no one's getting hurt, like, you know,
Life is for living, but
yeah,
also
life's
be
for living.
careful.
Just make sure it's not a catfish. That's really
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You know,
also.
it's 2022. There's so many ways to check this, you know?
Yeah.
They ask
Is
for
it the
money
right
bounce.
kind of distance?
Yeah.
Because like from Montreal to Toronto, that's the right kind of distance.
the right
You
kind of
know,
distance, yeah.
it's far enough, but you're also like, hey,
Yeah, it's close.
from
you know.
New York to California. Especially if you don't have any money and you're a university
Yeah,
student.
that's
Oh,
rough.
yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I'm just saying,
You know?
there are a lot of people in your city.
I'd say some good advice here is maybe, because I can feel like you're probably feeling some anxiety about it, is try to set a deadline date where you both know, like, if we can't actually meet up by a certain date, it
Yeah.
probably just means that like something, it's just going to be too hard to maintain this long term. But then it might actually, you know, you'll start planning for like days, and you'll set
Yeah.
aside a day
Yeah.
where you're both actually available. So like I would maybe set kind of a deadline date.
Yeah. Because I think the
Otherwise
longer
things
it goes
fizzle out.
on, like you set a date, you see them, but then that period after they or you leave again until the next time you guys see each other,
Yeah.
that gets harder and harder the
Yeah.
longer that goes on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oof.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Love you.
Bon chance. Bon chance. This is kind of an interesting one because like I feel like my friend has this, but she's just kind of accepting that she's enjoying it right now. But I've been single my whole life. Not her whole life, but either way. Okay, so I'm like not my friend, but this person. I've been single my whole life. I would like to find someone, but just the thought of being in a relationship triggers my fight or flight response. How do you deal with hyper-independency?
Amen.
I'm gonna be honest, I do a weird thing in that I feel this way and I have a really hard time in certain ways making certain commitments, but I will just like get in a relationship and just I'll be like, we're making
Feel
it work.
the fear and do it anyway.
We're making it work, and then I'm like,
commit first, ask questions later.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm really bad for that. And then like
that's not a bad thing.
That's fair. I'm like, because some people be like, oh, like, what do you think about marriage? And I'm like,
yeah, right. Booty hole just clenches a little bit.
It's funny, actually. My cousin, she's got that as well. She's very, very, very hyper independent. She's got her own routine, her own life situation, and she looks at it as like she's inviting somebody into her life, into her schedule, into her routine, and it's kind of like, who's worth that? And she's really like critical about it. I don't know how I would navigate that.
I mean, this is me being really social commentary chronically online, YouTube.
yes.
But I was gonna say research different relationship styles.
Yeah, there are.
Research polyamory, solo polyamory. So forgive me, I'm not poly, but I believe solo polyamory is when you are like a polyamorous person in that you have multiple relationships, but you don't have like a primary partner. Like your default setting is you and yourself, and you are the main focus, but then you just have polyamory as well. Is that a fair way of describing it? I guess?
As the resident relationship anarchist, I guess kind of non-monogamous. I don't know. I'm a relationship anarchist, and relationship anarchy is not really that anarchist. It's a concept. Yes, you can look it up and look into it. I did a video on it. Always be plugging.
Do you want to give us a crash course?
It's called You Don't Own Your Partners. So for my understanding, the basics is whoever is in the relationship gets to decide what the relationship is.
Of course.
So whether it's 2, 3, 5 people, if it's just 2 of us, we want to be monogamous, or hey, we're monogamous, but you're allowed to kiss people when you're out drunk flirting, and that's our business. Or when we're long distance for a period of time, you can hook up with people, don't ask, don't tell. Or I want to know who you're hooking up with. Or like it's whoever's in the relationship gets to set the rules. It's about commit first, ask questions later. It's about constant communication because things will change. I might feel this way now, but maybe I won't. Like it's a constant just. I appreciate it the most because it's fluid. It's, hey, our relationship looks like this now, but it might change. So let's leave room for that. And they have things called anchor partners, but like everyone can be your partner, because with relationship anarchy, it's not about treating one partner as more valuable than the other. And you don't even have to be poly to be a relationship anarchist. Right. But that's essentially the gist of it. It's just you get to make the rules of what your relationship is. And a book that I read that really helped was The Future of Love by Daphne Kingma. Because I started reading this book like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, I read it because I was like, I really want to understand my relationship to relationships, because I am very independent and I get scared about commitment, but I also want to be with somebody. I love intimacy. I love connection. I'm a horny asshole. Like, it's just all of that. So
I feel it.
Right? I'm like, oh my God.
Fellow horny arsehole.
Bro, I hit 30 and I was like, you're not allowed to be this horny all the time. It's not fair. Do I have sex addiction? I'm kidding. Oh my God. Please cut that. So leave it in. It's fine.
Oh my God.
God, it's so hot. Okay. But what was I even talking about? What the fuck?
Daphne book.
Daphne Kingma. So yeah, it's just about different types of relationships. It's written in like, I think 99 though. So some of the language.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl. But it talks about different types of relationships. And the one that she put in it that really helped me was this woman who was seeing all of her friends getting married, and she thought she wanted to get married. She's like, when's it going to be my turn? And then she realized she doesn't want to get married. She has a part-time boyfriend. When they're in the same city, they hook up, they hang out. When they're not, she goes and does her own thing. He does his thing. And even when I was in New York at this conference, I was talking with one of the people there, and he was like, you know, I'm not in a committed relationship. He's in his 40s and he's like, but I have been seeing this woman. We see each other on Saturdays. And then on Saturday, I ask her, hey, you want to hang out next Saturday? And she's like, you keep being my best option on Saturdays. So let's do it. Do it week by week. And it's just like those slow and steady ways instead of all the ways we've been told how we're supposed to have relationships. It's a lot of unlearning. But for me, yeah, I'm like, you know, I am a hyper independent person. It's how I've been. Some of it's a trauma response and some of it's just how I am. So I'm not going to be hard on myself about not being able to change that completely. I'm going to loosen it up a bit, but I'm going to do my best to also honor that part of me and find somebody that can adjust and we can both adjust together. Yeah. Like, I don't know. You can be hyper independent and find different, like Tara was saying, look up different relationships, find different ways of being in intimacy or dating. Like for me, I don't even know if I call it dating. I'm just like, I have lovers and there are things that they're people that lovers do intimacy with them. I get to just like, and I've had the most honest conversations now dating with people, doing intimacy with them than I've had in my entire life. Being like, hey, I'm not completely monogamous, but I don't know. Like, I'm down to just date and see what's up. Right. Another person I'm dating is like, hey, I just got tested. Like, I'm like, hey, I got tested. Like, we're open and honest about that. I don't know. It's just a lot more conversations. Is the only annoying part.
I think that's really the crux of it, right? No matter what kind of relationship you get into, whether it's intimate or just purely physical, you would hope that like the person would respect you enough. And I think I said this earlier, respect you enough to be, you know, decent and listen and communicate. Yeah. And be like, okay, either this is working for me or this isn't working for me. Yeah. Like, how do we move forward if we do it all? Like,
and a lot of people don't know how to do that. It's a shitty part. Like, you have to parcel out, okay, a lot of people can be honest with themselves and who can't. Like, who's ready to be in a relationship. Because also, somebody to be ready to be in a relationship with someone that's hyper independent, you can't just be with anybody.
Yeah, because you can't be with someone who's codependent because they're going to always want all your time. And you're like, that gets exhausting if you're independent or you're just somebody who's really busy or has a lot of stuff going on. You need someone who can match that energy. Otherwise, you're just kind of like spending all this half the emotional labor dealing with the relationship and then dealing with your own emotions, being overwhelmed by having to deal with that situation. So I just think there's good dynamics. I know some people like they're committed in a relationship and they're only interested in monogamy, but they kind of like give each other space to like spread out.
Separate but together.
Yeah, separate but together. So like they might have their own places or if they have a house, they distinctly have their own rooms and it's okay if one of them just goes to a different place. I think it's like Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter have like side-by-side houses and it's connected by...
now.
Sorry, I did not know that. At the time... At the time, they had a house and it was like separated so that they could visit each other basically and they could be left to their own devices. And then they would just come together, you know, and that worked for them. And I think that would probably work for a lot of people that are hyper independent and maybe it is just a matter of like getting over something and maybe you need therapy because some people it is a thing like that. If you're not, I think it really depends on whether or not you're happy with it and you feel content with it. Because if you're happy and you're doing good and you're able to find things that work for you and people that work for you, it's not an issue. But if you're not happy with it, then it probably means it's just something you need to kind of like adjust and look into and try to figure out like what works for you.
The thing with that though is that it's so difficult sometimes for somebody to like look at their life and like their situations that they found themselves in and be like, am I actually happy with this or am I just like kind of settling and kind of being like, well, this is bothers me, but like this person's also great in other ways. Like I've been there. I'm sure we've all been there.
It takes a lot. Like, here's the thing. You have to, not you have to, I'm going to speak personally. For me, I had to realize that I was hurting people by not truly understanding who I was, what I could commit to and what I couldn't. Because I'm like, I can commit to a person, to being with somebody. That's not an issue for me. Yeah. But the way it's gone about, like, I love a romantic relationship, intimacy. I love the idea of having a partner, someone to like help me out with life stuff. But I don't love relationships more than like my work or the other stuff that I'm doing. Right. And other people are different. There are some people their whole life, they want to find their person. Yeah. And so that's the other thing. If you're super independent, you can't be with somebody that, like you were saying, codependent, but like that has this vision idea of a relationship and all this stuff, because it's like, girl, I can't give you that. Like that's a lot of pressure to put on someone too. Good God, like them being your person. Oh my God.
And it's also like putting that aside, being like, maybe in the future it'll change. Like the idea of somebody getting into a relationship being like,
Yeah.
I know I don't want to get married, and someone else being like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
want that
Do
definitely,
not,
like maybe
do
later in the
not.
future. It's just a disservice to yourself, honestly.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's the same thing with like people like kids.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
You can't compromise on
you
that.
can't have,
No.
half,
Can't
a
have half a kid.
Can't
No.
have half a kid. So it's
No.
like
No.
yeah.
you.
Some people change their minds, but
It's true, but you can't bank on it, and it's
No.
unfair to everyone.
And it would be unfair to ask them to be like, could you change your
Could you
mind
change
for
your
me?
mind?
No.
It's like,
because no matter what, somebody's going to be resentful or
Exactly.
unhappy or
Yeah.
yeah.
we're saying don't have children.
don't ever get into a relationship
once-
ever.
I was on a podcast. She was like, having a child with my own body, that's the patriarchy. And I have never been able to unhear that. Because now I'm like, well, hold up.
Wait, I don't get it. Wait, am I
Having a child
being?
with my own body. She said it was a comedian. She was trying to
Yeah.
be funny.
Okay.
But like, your boobs change. Your whole body changes.
it's
Your
true.
nipples hurt. This baby is biting on your nipples. They're chafing. They're bleeding sometimes when you're trying to breastfeed. You shit on the table. My sister.
That's how they get their immunity.
Stop this.
That's why they started doing.
Turn off
fetal
her
trans-
mic.
That's how they started doing.
Turn
fetal
off her
transplant.
mic. This is not.
It's true though. It's true though.
I believe you.
Mommy ship is unraveling.
They like stitch
Welcome
you.
to the mommy ship.
They stitch you up.
Jump
Like my
into-
sister got stitched up without an epidural.
the bloody word.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The way babies ruin people's
thank
bodies.
you. It's-
If I'm gonna have a child, if they're going to be adopted, Gabrielle Union, look at her, fantastic,
Crushing it.
She has a happy family, a happy life, a husband that gets that his daughter is listen. And what did she not do? Well, I think she had a surrogate actually.
Oh.
Well,
I don't think she could.
Someone
I don't think
else.
she could have a child.
Yeah.
And I know there are some women that do want to have children. Some folks that do want to have children that can't with their bodies. I completely get it.
That is.
I'm not one of those people. Really not. I've heard way too many stories. Mm-mm.
Isn't there a TikTok where it's like, not me referencing TikTok, I'm chronically online. Anyway, there's a TikTok where it's like this girl made a notes app of all the reasons to not get pregnant, and it's like 400 bullet
It would have
points
to be, yeah.
long, eye-opening, and also not surprising, but also wow.
the scariest one I saw on Twitter was that someone had like a calcium deficiency when they were pregnant, and then the
Yeah.
baby
Oh, yeah.
took all their calcium, so then their teeth fell out.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the Bella Swan. The old
Oh,
Bella
no.
Swan.
IRL. But IRL.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, wait, she lost her teeth. Hold on. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I did not mean to laugh that hard.
That is horrifying. I
Yeah.
hope you're doing
It
better.
is very much. But that's the thing. It
Yeah.
seems like an exaggeration. But, I still need to send you all these fucking notes on abortion.
Yeah,
We'll talk. But just because I was doing so sorry. Oh my God. Never mind. Oh no, this is for a video you're working on. Tara's not. Oh my
no,
God.
it's okay. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. Hopefully, it'll be out by the time this is coming out.
unraveling again.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Let's slide to the next question.
Amanda, what's the next question?
Hello.
Skip it.
I am a teenager. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So almost everyone around
I'm sorry,
me.
my condolences.
Yes, my
know.
condolences. It's tough times. Basically, everyone around me has a romantic partner, and it makes me feel bad because I have no one.
I don't believe that. Sorry, not to invalidate
Oh
you.
boy, aggression.
You're a teenager. No, not everyone you know has a partner.
I believe it.
It's nowadays.
I believe it.
I believe
and
it.
even when I was in high school, oh God.
There's-
But the thing
Most
is, the
people do,
threshold
or
for
at least-
romantic partner when you're 17 is like, oh, we kissed once.
y'all are no. There are
Yeah,
people
there's some
that are in
who
relationships.
They get in some serious. There are some people who get in
Y'all
some
remember
serious
Corey
shit.
and Topanga? Come on now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I watched that back. Corey's a
Corey is
Oh.
the fucking worst.
garbage person.
Oh my God.
Garbage.
Sean, though.
Sean
Sean
was
is
done
always our
dirty.
hero.
Sean's a
Sean.
hero. Sean and Angela.
Mr.
my
Feeney?
goodness.
Wait,
Mr.
what was the
Feeney.
rest of it?
The rest of the question. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're not trying to invalidate your high school. Okay, sorry. Because it's true. No, because when you're in high school, everything is amplified.
It's
It's life or
it's
fucking
pretty
death back
high
then.
stakes.
I don't talk to me about love when I was a
But like,
teenager.
what
Oh my
about
God.
nerds?
Yeah, what?
That's what I mean. Like, if you're a nerd, you don't. Well, maybe you
That's
do.
an assumption.
No,
Nerds date each other.
I was a
Nerds
nerd.
we
I was a
get some.
nerd.
I was a nerd too.
Yeah,
My
and I
nerd
got
friends were
that
dating each
awkward
other.
charm girlfriend. Let's go. Okay, so for context, I used to have crushes.
So dang.
and stuff just out of I used to have crushes and stuff just out of peer pressure. I realized this was pointless.
Wait.
No.
I get it.
No, so in middle school, it's like, oh yeah, Ben is hot.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
no, I see what
so-
you mean. Right.
I realized this was pointless and that I actually didn't like the person I considered my crush and realized it was morally wrong to play with someone's feelings.
Wow.
So a
Nice.
few
Mature.
years ago, almost after 2.5 years, right now I'm like 17, I started talking to this guy and I eventually started liking him. He liked another boy and that made me quite upset because we had the flirting stage and everything. All of my peers had their first kiss and other things and my FOMO gets to me a lot. I know that I'm still young and I have a long way to go, but can you please tell me how I should not feel like I'm behind everyone from your experiences as a teenager? Okay, look, even if someone you know, even if you had been, even if you know people who were like, you know, kissing people at like 13, 14, 15, whatever, you were not behind. And I feel like people get so caught up on being behind in things that they shoot themselves in the foot for everything going forward. You know, like it really is, again, it's the averages things. You just keep putting yourself out there, keep trying new things, going new places. And just because it didn't work with this guy right now, you know, that's you there's more people out there. Like there's always other people out there. And I feel like FOMO will kill you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And it's going to happen to everyone. And then you'll get into areas sometimes where you have the opposite problem where you've done so many things and you've ended up in a position where like, did I make a mistake not keeping something that had already happened? So I feel like you can't always just dwell on that fear of missing out and you just kind of keep trying other things. Cause I think this, a lot of guys in particular, it happens to girls too. I think I just noticed it's a little bit more prevalent with guys because I think there's a little, I think it is shifting, but the expectation that you're supposed to do things as a guy can be a little bit higher. So then you feel like you've failed in some way.
Supposed to want to.
You're supposed to want to, and you're supposed to have certain milestones. And teenagers are dicks, but I just feel like the more you get worried about it, the more you're gonna get yourself like really worked up, and you're gonna accidentally like ruin opportunities because you're so focused on a thing when it should just be like, am I actually into this person? And you seem to have like a good head on your
the
shoulder.
foresight of knowing like I don't want to play with somebody's feelings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I think you're on the right track.
You were on
I
the
think,
right track.
Yeah. Like having that mental understanding of like, okay, maybe not rushing into it just for the sake of rushing into it and getting like this over with, quote unquote.
Also, like people who like dated a lot in high school and stuff often wish that they didn't, and they focused more on themselves and friends and getting like school to get to get into their dream college or art school or whatever, or like hobbies. They're like, because
I don't know what this is.
I don't know, I just think I'm not set. Obviously I get it, like relationships are fun and stuff, but like just focus.
Hormones, man.
I mean, not just, I know it sounds so cliche, but like if you keep focusing on you and your hobbies and shit, like you will meet someone, and also down the line you'll just be glad that, basically what I'm saying, don't focus on it too much because it really just doesn't.
Because if you focus on it too much, you'll go back into that zone where you're just, oh my God, is that person interested in me? Should I be interested in them? So I can get this stuff out of the way.
It becomes this
forcing
obsession
it.
and you're just, it's
you're
so
forcing
mentally
it.
exhausting.
Yeah.
I'd also just say like, I don't know. I was late to a lot of things. And I'm grateful for that now. I would take my time to think about stuff. Like, I think I had my first kiss maybe when I was like 16, which to me is still pretty early. I'm like, that's cute. But like, I was very much in the know of like, I wasn't going to have sex when I was in high school. I just knew that about myself. And even after high school, I didn't, because I just knew that about myself. But like, the only reason I even ended up doing it was because I was like, I wonder what the big deal is. And it was literally me thinking about it for like 2 years. Like, what's the big deal with this?
Fair.
Let's see what's up. So like, I think allow yourself the space to know that 17, yes, maybe you feel quote unquote behind, and maybe you quote unquote are behind, like literally, in that you're not doing as many things as your friends are and dating and stuff. But your early 20s are going to be so much time of that. And like, you might not believe it. You just kind of have to experience it to know. But like, your early 20s are so much of the time when you're dating and figuring that stuff out. Like even in your 30s, like, I don't know. I think a lot of us are just getting over the idea that you have to have X milestone by whatever time or whatever age. Because if you sit down and ask yourself, okay, why would I need to have a crush right now? Do I need to? Like, if you literally just give yourself a second to stop and think and just ask yourself a few questions, you'll realize what you do want and what you don't. Because it seems like, as we're all saying, you're introspective enough to even think about this stuff. Yeah. So I feel like give yourself credit. You know more than you think. You're asking us this stuff, but it seems like you already know that you just don't really want to do too much of this stuff. And hey, I'm here to give you permission. You don't have to.
Yeah. It sucks that you did find someone that you were interested in. Yeah, and it seemed like they weren't. That sucks, but you can just take some time to process that too.
Yes. You know?
And you will feel that way again because you're capable.
That's life. Yeah.
You felt
trust
it.
me. Oh my God. I thought that there were people that I was like, I'll never love again.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I could never like someone.
14 years old, flat on the ground.
Listening to Brandy's Have You Ever Loved Somebody? Yes. What did you know about that song? It makes you cry.
Like literally waiting for the MSN Messenger ding to go off on the floor.
Oh, the devastation.
Going offline and then back online
changing
again.
the lyrics in your name.
Oh my God.
Logging in and out just so that they can see you log in.
They see you and talk to you.
Yo, that's some toxic shit, but we all did it.
We all did it.
We did it. What's next? Go on.
We got 2 left.
All right.
So they're pretty short and basic ones. So first one up, how long does it take to say I love you without it being weird?
It depends on who your relationship.
I think like second date.
It depends.
I mean, when you meet them. The second time with somebody.
Sapphic, not sapphic.
Sapphic, non-sapphic. Welcome to Sapphic, non-sapphic. This is the queer spinoff.
So, like, does your first date carry over to the next day?
I know. I'm like, when I've dated girls, I've said I love you very quickly. But yeah, no, actually, yeah. But that's actually the only time I've ever said I love you soon to somebody, because I actually didn't. And Bell Hooks has a great definition of love. It's like not falling in love with people, but it's I've met someone that I think I could know loving with.
Yes.
Like I have found someone that I really think I could know loving with. And ever since I started adopting that, it's like, oh, I don't have to put the pressure on it.
Bell
like
Hooks
even,
right? That's really sweet.
Even meeting someone like only knowing them for a week or a couple dates, I'm like, this is a really nice vibe. And if we continue on this way, I could know love with this person. So I'm going to just allow that and give that space to happen.
To manifest in whatever way it manifests.
Whatever, organically, however it comes about. Nice. I could know love with this person. I'm not in love with them. I like them, but I could know love with them.
May I just sort of add something?
Yeah, of course.
You are a smooth criminal. You are smooth as a dolphin. Yeah. So I feel like you could get away with that.
What do you mean?
As in, you know, I feel like you could, what you're saying now, it's like, because I don't know. Basically, what I will say is that this person is asking, I think it could come off as creepy in some instances. Like,
that's fair.
for example,
I guess saying it out loud
if you're
to
on a
them.
first date with a guy and he's like,
Ted Mosby's it.
You're mine.
Oh, no. I haven't told these people.
No, that's it.
This is something I would tell my friends or tell myself so that I keep myself in check.
Okay, I get you.
So I'm not getting too, as we said before, daydream and getting too caught up.
Yeah,
so I'm like, hey, Khadija, I could know love with this person.
Exactly.
And I say it to my friends. I'm not going to tell them
now.
But
that's but it's a question asking like,
when is it too early?
Yeah.
I was going to say that the way you're saying it almost sounds like it could be a rejection. So somebody's like, I love you. And then you're like, I could know love with you.
Okay. You're right. Wait.
But I get where you're
right.
I get where you're coming at it from.
You're right.
Yeah, but you're right too.
But yeah, you're right too.
But what I'm saying is
that was beautiful.
That's what I mean. It was like it was very ethereal. And I think if we're just talking about like dating, especially if we're talking about like the heteros. Like, sapphics is a whole different thing.
No, but I'm even talking about heteros. Like, I'm talking about feeling this sensation with men even. Like cis men.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And that's Bell Hooks mostly talks about heteros, unfortunately, when she's talking about love and romance. Unfortunately, she does really stick to the heteros. But I think it, like, the reason that I said could know love.
No, I get you. I totally
Y'all
get
understand, whoever's listening.
Yes.
I only say that as well because of the keeping yourself in check. Because it seems like this person wants to say, I love you. And it's like, if it's too, if you think it's too soon, a way to kind of keep yourself in check is, do you actually think you love this person? Because that's the other thing. So many of us think we love people, but as Hook says, a lot of us have not actually known love.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's different forms of love.
Obsession. And you can love someone but not be
believe it.
in love.
You don't
them.
believe it. Wait, let's unpack that. What you mean? What you mean?
I feel bad. This person.
No,
Wait,
no,
everybody say your
They
piece
can
about
wait.
the
They
cheese.
can wait.
Well, just okay. Honestly, it depends. Okay, if you're in high school, I feel like you can probably sit on it for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
I think a way that people get around saying it sometimes, but it can also put a lot of pressure on people, is you just talk about like, oh, you're one of my favorite people. Like you know, I always
Or
have so
you
much
say,
fun.
love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
LUH.
Yeah.
Love
love you.
ILY.
Yeah. Just I think
I feel why.
I feel like I love you
Heart
isn't
emojis.
something you necessarily need to say super soon, because like I think actions speak louder than words in a lot of ways, and I just feel like maybe a moment will end up feeling right, but I guess sometimes it does get to the point where your brain's just kind of like, I need to say it, I need to say it, I need to say it.
I would ask this person to define for themselves what love actually is first.
Yeah.
Because I ask people this question all the time. I'm like, how would you define love? And people will give me different answers and stuff.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones, though, and one that I've adopted as well, is just like, to me, love is stillness. It's you come as you are. I will come as I am. And in this space, we are just ourselves together, no matter what. And I give you the room, you give me the room. It allows for us to change and evolve together and all of these sorts of things. A lot of love, I personally think, hot take, but a lot of love that most of us know is conditional. It's I met
fair.
you being this way, and if you don't continue to be this way, I will not love you. If you don't continue to do this, I will not love you. If you don't act this way, I will not love you. XYZ, as opposed to, hey, if I say I love you to someone, for me, there's very little that person could do, it's all good, that would make me revoke that love from them. Because the love isn't a thing. It's action in motion. It's me saying, hey, I love you no matter what. So like, yeah, I'm still going to hold you accountable. I'm still going to ask for you to be better, but I'm going to also give you the space to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but can you also kind of enter a point where you love someone and then just know that something's not working because there's just pieces, like something needs to change, and it's not like because you're not accepting them the way they are, but it's like you can still love them but realize like a relationship is just probably not going to work, at least,
Yeah, like timing or just
timing, or
I
just
think that,
if
but I
somebody's
also
not willing to
think-
work on something of themselves that like needs to be worked on. And
I
it
just think we
becomes a-
separate love into all these different ways
That's
as a
fair.
way to like hierarchize different people in
Oh,
our
yeah,
life. Like our
yeah.
romantic love is different than our friendship,
friendship
love,
love
and
and
that.
familial
And
love.
for
yeah.
Always be plugging. I got a video about this.
Hey,
And heteronormativity.
hey, always be
Shout out to
plugging.
David J. Bradley.
links in the
Let's
bio.
go.
Links in the bio.
Okay.
But honestly, I feel like there's, because you were asking me like, oh, why do I think it's just one definition? Because if I'm going to say it's an action, like love to me, it's not a thing. It's just like, it's around you and it's what you do and operate in, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. It's like gravity in a weird way. Like
And it's applicable
not,
to everything.
yeah, it's not, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does.
But yeah.
I like that.
That makes sense though.
That is-
I think I agree
yeah.
with you for the most part.
It's pretty cheesy,
yeah.
but like, and this
No,
is
but
also
love,
something.
that's what love is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like having read so many different people, because I'm really like been investigating this
Yeah.
for myself. It's like, this is a conclusion I've come to after like 3 years.
Yeah, no,
But
that's fair.
like, yeah, I don't know.
Just
What
to
do I know?
add another
Okay.
practical
A lot.
piece of
Yeah.
Don't ever again.
Oh, no,
okay.
hold on. It was me trying to humiliate the beef. We'll talk about that after.
Well, I was just going to say a practical piece of advice for this person as well is that if you are going to say you love someone, if you plan on doing that in the near future, just be open to the fact that they might not be ready to say it
True.
back.
Yes.
And don't take it personally.
And don't take it personally.
Yeah.
I know it hurts and it's hard, but just understand that if you are saying it, like, there's this great scene. I don't know if anyone else watched Gilmore Girls growing up.
I love Gilmore Girls.
There's this scene where like Rory has this boyfriend in college called Logan, and she's
Oh,
like,
Logan.
Yeah,
I know,
Logan,
but
Logan.
he was right for her because of how she is.
Is it Princess Weeks that just made a video talking
Yes,
about
she did.
yeah,
I
okay,
watched
okay,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I haven't watched it yet.
I was like, Rory's boyfriend.
But basically, she's made.
Yeah.
There's this scene where she sits down with him and she's just like, "Listen, I just want to tell you, I love you. I don't expect anything in return. I
was
just
gonna
want,
say, you
I
have
just
to
want you
approach
to
it.
know for me that I love you, and if you want to say it back, great. But just like, I just
And
wanted
that's the
you
way it
to know.
has to be. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how it should be. So if you
Yes.
want to tell the person that, just frame it like that,
Yes.
because honestly,
And that's
It takes
giving
the
them
weight off.
room.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
giving them room, it
to-
takes the weight off,
Yeah.
makes them feel loved, and it makes the love stand out more than the panic of like what's been like
Yeah.
dropped.
And it makes it sincere because it's like the space that I'm creating for you is I love you without expectation.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
You are allowed to say it right now, or you will say it 10 years from now, but I'm saying it to you because I want to.
Yeah. Rather than expecting something in return. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautifully said.
Yes. All right. So I think we're getting around the hour. So the last question, we're just going to do this. It's literally, you get a yes or no. We're not going into specifics. So
All right.
Oh God. Okay.
never dated anyone, but I wanted to write something anyways. So were Ross and Rachel on a break?
Yes.
I hate Friends.
I've never fucking seen Friends, and I refuse to watch it.
I
They
don't
stole
like Friends.
everything from
I
Living
don't-
Single.
No, I found my people.
I
They
don't like
stole
Friends.
their copy from Living Single. If you haven't seen that show,
Oh,
watch
true,
it.
true, true.
Queen Latifah was on it.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Ross sucks ass.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But they were on a break.
They were on a break.
They were on a break.
Yeah.
But that is going to do it for this episode
What a
of
way to
dating and
end.
relationship advice
On the mummy
on
ship.
the mummy ship. Thank you so much for watching. Links will be in the description as always, and feel free to submit any further relationship questions to us on different social medias, and we'll tally them eventually.
Hey.
Stay sexy. I did it for Bruno. It's
So
Bruno's,
good.
Yeah, it's Bruno's thing. I was like, how do we normally end this? I was like, how do we end this? I was like, oh, Bruno. Yes, stay sexy. Yeah. There you go.
Casey needs to go
You guys are hilarious.
That was fucking fantastic.
Was it?
That was incredible.
Isn't it so much fun to watch?
That